So what is 2025 real estate going to bring? What are the predictions? It's a common question that comes up a lot. And I always test that question. Number one, because are you making a decision based on what you think is going to happen in the real estate market? Or are you going to make a decision based on what's going on in your life? And I find most people make major real estate decisions not really based on the future of real estate, but based on how it's going to improve their life situation. Whether you're buying or selling, it's usually going to affect your life more than what the real estate market is going to do for you financially. But if we're going to predict it out, let's do that. And I'm going to focus on Southern California because if you look at each market throughout the United States, it's going to act a little bit differently based on the marketplace. The big news of 2024, though, was the number of sales. This was one of the lowest amount of home sales to take place in the United States. There's a prediction that this year will finish out somewhere between 3.8 million and 4 million sales. Now, if you want to compare that to the peak of a couple years ago during the post-COVID years, just after COVID or during COVID, we had 6 million sales. That's a significant drop-off. And this becomes newsworthy. And the news likes to talk about how sales have dropped. But what has not dropped are prices. There's actually been an increase in sales value of 2.6% across the US in 2024. So the news can be very confusing. Sales are dropping, but it's not prices. Prices are fine, they're stable. They moved up 2.5% this year. And in different markets, they went up a little bit more, and maybe they even downward trended in a couple different marketplaces. In Southern California, we saw appreciation, and the predictions are we will see more appreciation. There is still a high demand for housing in California, and there is a lack of housing starts. That is the biggest driving factor. The population growth of those that start the need for a new house are ages in their mid-20s. You're talking about 27, 28-year-olds. This is the largest group of buyers in the marketplace that create the need for a new house. And because we have the largest amount of them right now in the marketplace, the lowest amount of housing starts in a long, long time for quite a while in California, this is pushing demand, and the pressure of the housing starts not being there is a challenge. So we're going to continue to see upward pressure on prices in 2025. I would expect those to go up in the 4 to 5% range, and it could be further if the Feds decide to drop interest rates significantly and mortgage rates follow. Now, the Fed rates don't always follow mortgage rates. The last time in this last quarter, the Fed rates dropped their Fed rate loan amounts, mortgage rates went up. So they are affected by different things, including the bond market. The bond market has moved mortgage rates up again at the end of this year. So it's going to be choppy next year. No one knows exactly for sure where interest rates will end up, but if they go down, you're going to see further upward pressure on prices. If they remain stable, we're going to see slight upward pressure on prices in 2025. So what I want to go back to is really, how will the market shift affect you, and will the market shift affect you? The one thing I've learned being in this business for 37 years, most people make decisions based on what they think is going to happen in the short term, but the reality is they live in long-term moments, meaning they buy a home and they're there for 10 years, or they're there for 12 years, or they're there for 30 years, right? And they're so concerned about making this decision about what if the market moves in, October of 2025 in some direction that could affect me. There's a yin and yang in the marketplace. Interest rates could drop, so wait until interest rates go down. But if interest rates go down, prices go up. Well, wait for prices to drop. Well, if prices drop, it's probably because interest rates aren't very good. There's always a yin and a yang going on in the real estate market. I think the decision that most people should be making is based on what it's going to do for them, their families, and their situation. Timing the market is a very challenging thing to do. So my recommendation is pay attention to the marketplace, know what's going on, but make a decision based on what's really most important to you and what are those 2 or 3 major factors that's going to affect in your life.